The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the holographic display flickered to life. Ambassador Ralph stood at the podium, her human features calm despite the 1,000 alien eyes fixed upon her. She had waited 3 years for this moment, 3 years of humanity being dismissed as a backwater species, too primitive to warrant respect. Honored delegates, Ralph began, her voice steady. Earth requests formal recognition as a sovereign military power. A chorus of chittering laughter erupted from the Xanthir delegation. High Counselor Vexthor, a towering insectoid with mandibles that clicked in amusement, leaned forward. Your species arrived in this galaxy aboard generation ships barely capable of light speed. You possess no fleet, no weapons of consequence. Why should we grant you anything beyond your current probationary status? Ralph's lips curved into a slight smile. Because you've never asked us what we've been building. Back on Earth, in the shadowed depths of the Pacific Ocean, Alice monitored the transmission from the Council chambers. His fingers danced across holographic controls in the command center of Facility Zero, a location that officially didn't exist. Around him, 300 crew members worked in practiced silence, each one aware that humanity's future hung in the balance. She's given the signal, Alice said quietly into his comm. Begin Phase 1. 10,000 meters above the ocean's surface, the water began to churn. What the galaxy didn't know, what humanity had hidden for decades, was that Earth hadn't been idle since making contact with the wider universe. While alien species had assumed humans were scrambling to reverse engineer their technology, humanity had been doing what it did best, preparing for the worst. The UCSS Defiance broke the surface like a breaching whale, but whales had never been 5 kilometers long. In the Council chamber, every screen suddenly displayed the same image. Earth's Supercarrier rising from the depths, water cascading off its angular hull in torrents. The vessel dwarfed anything in the known galaxy. Its surface bristled with weapon systems, fighter bays, and technology that made several delegates lean forward in disbelief. Impossible, Vexthor hissed. Our intelligence reported no orbital construction. No shipyards. No orbital construction, Ralph interrupted smoothly. We built her underwater. 40 years of work. 70,000 personnel. Complete information blackout. You see, Counselor, while your species were conquering worlds openly, humans learned something different from our history. Sometimes the greatest advantage is being underestimated. Alice watched the deployment sequence unfold with quiet pride. The Defiance's fighter wings launched in perfect formation, 2,000 craft screaming into the sky, each one incorporating human ingenuity with adapted alien technology. But it was what lay beneath the surface that truly mattered. Counselor, Ralph continued, her image now split screen with the Defiance. What you're seeing is our deterrent, our insurance policy. But she's not alone. On cue, 3 more supercarriers broke surface across Earth's oceans. The UCSS Resilience emerged from the Arctic ice. The UCSS Tenacity rose from the Atlantic's abyssal plain. The UCSS Audacity surfaced in the Indian Ocean's depths. The Council chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted, some in fear, others in outrage. But Ralph noticed several. The older civilizations, the ones who'd survived through strategy rather than brute force, remained silent, reassessing. Vexthor's voice cut through the noise. This is a declaration of war. You've been building weapons in secret, violating what? Ralph's voice was sharp now. No treaty restricts planetary construction. No law prohibits self-defense. You wanted to know if humanity deserved a seat at this table. Well, now you know we won't be conquered easily. These carriers aren't invasion forces, Counselor. They're a promise that humanity will fight for its freedom with every breath, every innovation, every ounce of stubbornness that got us to the stars in the first place. Alice initiated the final demonstration. From each supercarrier, massive cannons emerged, railguns capable of accelerating projectiles to near light speed, targeting data acquired, locked on designated empty space coordinates provided by Earth's astronomers. 4 simultaneous shots fired into the void, their trajectories calculated to intersect with 4 distant asteroids. The Council watched on long-range sensors as the projectiles struck their targets 20 minutes later. Each asteroid, ranging from 1 to 5 kilometers in diameter, shattered into harmless debris. Kinetic kill weapons, Ralph explained. No exotic matter required. Just human engineering and physics. Each carrier holds 200 such rounds. Reload time, 40 seconds. The silence that followed was absolute. An elderly delegate from the Keepers Coalition, a species known for their wisdom, finally spoke. You could have revealed this as a threat. Instead, you demonstrate capability and restraint. Why? Ralph's expression softened. Because we don't want war. We want partnership. Humanity learned long ago that showing strength doesn't mean using it. We built these vessels hoping we'd never need them in combat, but we'll be damned if we let anyone dictate our destiny because they think we're weak. Alice smiled as he read the incoming diplomatic channels lighting up his display. Requests for technology exchanges, proposals for defense pacts, invitations for joint operations. Fear had gotten their attention, but capability had earned their respect. Bexthor's mandibles clicked slowly, a gesture of contemplation among his people. The council will need time to discuss this. Development. Take all the time you need, Ralph replied. The Defiance and her sisters aren't going anywhere. Neither are we. As the transmission ended, Alice leaned back in his chair. Through the facility's windows, he could see the Defiance floating on the surface, a monument to human determination. Ralph would be returning to Earth within the week, and there would be celebrations, debates, and endless diplomatic negotiations ahead. But for now, the galaxy knew the truth. Humanity had arrived, and they'd brought enough firepower to ensure they'd stay on their own terms. Not through conquest, but through the very thing that had always defined the human species, the absolute refusal to go quietly into the night. Above the Pacific, the Defiance's running lights flickered on against the darkening sky. A constellation of human defiance made manifest. The galaxy had frozen in shock, but humanity was just getting started.